Garbage, No Gods, No Masters album review. Let's chat about it. Hey guys, what's going on? John here from What's Spinning here tonight to chat about this latest from Garbage, legendary alternative rock group. One of my all-time favorites and one of my all-time favorite frontwomen in Shirley Manson. I mean, their self-titled debut is one of my favorite throwbacks. This is just a great blend of alternative rock and industrial and so much more. Singles like Vow, Stupid Girl, Queer, they're still so great. Now, their follow-up version 2.0 was darker, kinkier, and you know what? It took me a little bit longer to really appreciate, but it is pretty great as well. But it was around that time afterwards that I sort of fell off with Garbage. I've never been a fan of their Absolute Garbage album, just was not my cup of tea. However, I was a big fan of their Bleed Like Me album. I still don't get the hate this album gets. Yes, a lot of it is corny and overdone, but if you can deal with them thinking outside the box a little, it's actually pretty decent in parts. But if you're not into the cornier and more overdone side of this band, you're going to have a bad time. And ever since, Garbage have sort of been in this weird mix of sounding pretty decent for a band that's been around for so long, but not doing anything wildly over the top either. I thought Not Your Kind of People actually went overlooked. And while it wasn't great, I thought their last album, Strange Little Birds, was okay. Just nothing exciting, but certainly not a bad record. And the new singles that have been leading up to this album are kind of in the same vein. Let's chat about this thing. Now, as far as a Garbage track goes in 2021, you're not going to find much better than The Creeps. It's hectic, it's commanding. I love how off the rails this comes off. From a performance view, from a Shirley Manson performance view, this is great. I mean, once again, if you are not into the more synth-driven work of Garbage, you're not going to like this, but I think this is a really great single. Uncomfortably Me, on the other hand, is one of the most Garbage-sounding tracks here. It's a little dark, but it's also really personal and deep. It's probably the most intense and real track here. And you know what? It's really likable. Something about this brings me back to their early days. And if we're talking straight singles, I think Wolves is the best track here. I mean, I need a little oomph in my music from Garbage, and this is it. This is a great, upbeat, industrial jam. It's got that classic, commanding performance from Garbage vibe to it. This is great. I also think Anonymous XXX is one of the best deep cuts here. Yes, the horns on this track come out of freaking nowhere. But this is one of the most fascinating hidden gems on the table here. I love how mysterious and artsy this comes off. Shirley's performance, once again, that is one thing that she has not let go of. Not only that, but they do a really good job here of bridging the gap between the sounds of their more guitar-driven sounds and their more synth-heavy stuff. We tell you, though, there is a slew of really, really rough tracks on here, though. Take, for example, The Men That Rule the World. First time I heard it, it really underwhelmed me, and it's grown on me a little bit. It's okay. It's not the worst sin committed here. It's far from the best, though. I mean, I do like the teeth to this track. It packs a little bit of a punch, but for every righteous lyric here that makes me say, hell yes, there's also a lot of corny lyrics. Waiting for God is a slow burner, and you know what? Some of their slow burners on their last couple of albums have actually been some of the best tracks. This ain't it, though. This just seems so off. It plods along one step at a time, and some of the vocal effects are so goofy. And the airier, lighter approach to this track, I'm personally not here for it. And it's a shame because there is so much anger on this album. This isn't 1996 sort of angsty anger. No, this is anger that, should be here. No, this is 2021, we need to do something about the freaking planet anger. Garbage's heart is on the right place on this track, but it's not for me. I have a lot of the same feelings on Godhead. And you know what? This one excited the hell out of me. I love how much teeth this track has. I love that pulsating beat. And it's real dark, too. But I feel like this track should have been approached differently. Look, I get that this track takes a sort of tongue-in-cheek approach to sexism and misogyny in the music industry, but I feel like it should have been approached a little differently. Compare this to what Marina did on her new album that I reviewed yesterday. It's night and day. And I do like the atmosphere and the production on A Woman Destroyed and just how sinister and twisted Shirley comes off here. But after just so many slow, plodding along tracks. I needed something to like really wake me up. I needed a coffee right about now, and this track was not it. And it's a shame because when things take a turn for the weird in the last 2 minutes, I actually think this track's pretty cool. It's just too little too late. Now, I will say this though, the last 3 tracks here are actually some of the best on the album. It actually sways me a little bit more in the positive direction. Flipping the Bird is a breath of fresh air. And you know what? This isn't the norm of what I expect to hear from Garbage. It is airier once again. But as far as an honest-to-God throwback goes, you're not going to find much more of it than this. It's got a great riff to it. It's one of the catchier tracks here. And you might hate these bells, but I don't hate them. No Gods, No Masters, honestly, when I first heard it was disappointing, but it's actually grown on me quite a bit. I actually think it's one of the better synth-heavy tracks here. It's really sharp, it's really catchy, and just for a modern sound from Garbage, this is actually not bad at all. And This City Will Kill You as a finale is really sharp too. I love how mysterious and elegant and dark this track comes off. It almost comes off like, I don't know, Not Your Kind of People. Not only that, but it's such an obvious formula for Garbage. Like, this is just such a great sound for them. They can still do it so much justice. Honestly, it saved the end of this album for me. So, no, it's not the best thing in Garbage's discography. It's not the worst thing in their discography. You know what? Some of the slower, weirder tracks in the middle of this album, as well as some of the slow burners as well, just really brought me down and really put me to sleep for some of this album. Like, they are tough to sit through. But, you know, this isn't bad. This certainly isn't bad. You know, some of the singles are pretty great. They still have that great formula. Like Shirley Manson is a hell of a performer. The synth-heavy tracks that are more upbeat are pretty great. There's some really catchy hooks on here as well. But just for me, I personally haven't heard anything wildly new or exciting from Garbage since the early 2000s, and this isn't swaying it either. I think it's better than probably their last album, but still, it's just another very average, very plausible album from Garbage. I'm feeling a very strong 6 on this album, but let me know what you guys think down below. If you like the video, be sure to give us a like, give us a subscribe, and let me know down below what you would like for me to chat about in the future. And until next time, have a great day, guys.